Well, welcome again to our latest in conversation with Jennie and Mark. It's really good to see you, and we're delighted to be able to spend this time together talking about another Bible passage. Now, perhaps Jennie, you want to say hello, and then I'll say a little bit more what we're going to do.
I do. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us again.
So we're not here next week, so we're jumping ahead. So you've got a whole almost 2 weeks to listen to this before I think I'm going to preach on it, potentially. Jennie is not even going to preach on it then, so because you're going to do your harvest when you get back, aren't you?
Yeah, so this is the reading for the 20th of October, and we will be having harvest, so we won't be using this one.
And we've done harvest, so if you want to have some thoughts about harvest, you need to go back to last week's where we looked at the reading from Deuteronomy, which I used at St Margaret's harvest last Sunday. So, but you may or may not be doing that. Is that right? Or you might do something different, or just how the mood takes you.
I haven't decided yet.
That's fine. You got a few sleeps before then, so that's fine. Good. Exactly. Okay, so we're going to look at this passage from continuing in the Gospel of Mark, and we are looking at Mark chapter 10 and verses 35 to 45, I think it is. Anyway, a section from later on in Mark chapter 10. So carrying on from more, I don't know, it seems to jump over a lot of stuff. I don't know why. It's jumped over some really interesting passages, but maybe because we're having a week off. Okay, that's probably why. That's why it's jumped over it. Okay, so we've jumped over it. The lectionary probably hasn't, but anyway. So here we go. We're going to look at this passage, and if you're watching this, then hopefully it's come up on the screen. And it's from Mark 10, verse 35 to 45. There we go. Jennie, do you want to read the first half down to 40, and I'll finish it off? How does that sound?
I'll just read it. Don't
you're just going to read it. Okay, yeah. Let's do that then. That's fine, whatever.
Here we go. James and John, the sons of Zebedee, came forward to him and said to him, "Teacher, we want you to do for us whatever we ask of you." And he said to them, "What is it that you want me to do for you?" And they said to him, "Grant us to sit, one at your right hand and one at your left, in your glory." But Jesus said to them, "You do not know what you are asking. Are you able to drink the cup that I drink, or be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with?" And they replied, "We are able." Then Jesus said to them, "The cup that I drink you will drink, and with the baptism with which I am baptized, you will be baptized. But to sit at my right hand or at my left is not mine to grant, but it is for those for whom it has been prepared." When the 10 heard this, they began to be angry with James and John. So Jesus called them and said to them, "You know that among the Gentiles, those whom they recognize as their rulers lord it over them, and their great ones are tyrants over them. But it is not so among you. But whoever wishes to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wishes to be first among you must be slave of all. For the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many."
Okay. I love this passage. I think it's brilliant. It's got so much in it. And it really kind of is one of those ones that have tried, for better or worse, over the years that I've been doing this job, to take to heart, because I think it has a lot of important stuff for us. But what strikes you about it as you open it up?
So I mean, I like the ending, but before we get to the ending and the bits,
okay, well, let's start at the beginning. It's a very good place to start.
Yeah, exactly. when you what strikes me, the ending. But yeah. So who is going to sit his right hand and who at his left?
Well, that's interesting you should ask that, because there is a I was going to come to this later, but there's a fantastic view, perhaps is a better word, that this has already happened. So you want me to share that view with you now?
Yeah, do.
Okay. So the view is that this has already happened because, and actually it's in the picture behind you, because it is the two thieves who are crucified with him. At the crucifixion, I'd love to say I thought that up, but of course I didn't. Somebody else thought it up or saw that as a. But I think it's it's one of the reasons why I love this passage, although there's lots of other stuff as well. But yeah, that is, and I think that's just the fantastic way of looking at it, that is the moment of Jesus's, of course, utter shame and death and suffering and passion and all those things. But actually, of course, that is the moment of Jesus's glory, because that's what we believe. This is the sort of central moment. And therefore, the people who are at his right and at his left in his glory are the thieves who are crucified with him on the cross. And there you are, behind you. You have got, on that picture that you have on your study, 3 crosses. And that's the moment of Jesus's ultimate glory. And therefore, they are the 2 that are chosen, which just even more highlights the kind of craziness of what these 2 disciples are asking for. And
but also, let's go back to that, because only one of those thieves asked to be with him. The other one ridiculed him, didn't they?
Yeah, but I don't know that negates the point, does it? They are the ones who are there. You know, that's just the utter.
No, I think it adds to it more than
negates it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you think it adds to it? Why?
Well, because so one of them is so forgiven even though he hasn't asked for it.
Yes.
In fact, he's done the opposite, really. He just joined in the ridicule, didn't he?
Joins in the ridiculing, yeah.
So it adds to
it.
But you can't remember who said it, though, can you?
I'd love to say that I could. Maybe if anyone's listening who knows, you could say.
We'll look it up.
I'll have to look it up. I could have a guess, but I might be wrong. So it's probably better not to guess.
I'd not heard it before.
I think that's just a brilliant idea, a brilliant view of what's going on here, because it just speaks to what this passage is really all about, and how, what's the right one? I was going to say wrong, but it is wrong, but misguided, misunderstanding what Jesus is saying. And therefore we also, perhaps it's a shocking thing to think of even for us, because we also, let's face it, don't really embrace all that this following Jesus thing is all about. I think, so anyway, I love the thought that, what strikes me, I think, is that certainly at the beginning, if we go back to the beginning, that, they're still arguing. These disciples, they're still arguing about it. It seems every time on this discussions that we have, we're talking about the disciples arguing about, who is the greatest? Who is the greatest? What's the most important thing? And now we've got, James and John coming and taking matters into their own hands to sort of say, yeah, come on, we're going to put ourselves forwards. Don't be backwards. Actually, there's another even better passage. I can't remember whether it's in Matthew or in Luke, but in Matthew or Luke's version of this story, do you know who it is who they get to ask Jesus?
No.
It's their mum.
Oh, I do, yes. Yes.
They're not even prepared to do it themselves. They send their mum in. So I mean,
do they send her in there, or doesn't she just go in? And I can see why you do that.
She goes in. That's true. Maybe she goes in.
I mean, that sounds like a real mum thing to do.
It's a great mum thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
There you go. Are you gonna
I think I've always read that where they're almost sitting in the background going, "Oh no," and their mum's gone.
What you imagine them going, "Oh, mum, leave it, mum, leave it, don't go there."
Absolutely. They've probably been sat at home going, well, with her saying, well, you should go and tell him, go and ask him, go and tell him, and then going, no, we shouldn't.
yeah, mum, really? Do you have to? Anyway, for whatever, I mean, I guess in one sense they're talking about the same event. The different gospel writers do tell these stories from different perspectives, and maybe they put her up to it. Maybe they didn't want to do it themselves.
But you're right, they do seem to keep going back to the same argument and the same conversation, don't they?
Same thing, don't they? So, and I think, of course, it's full of pathos, tragedy, because, we know, don't we, what Jesus is saying to them, that the whole discussion is full of their own, kind of, they just double down, don't they? And you almost feel sorry for them, because we kind of are in on the secret of what Jesus is talking about, and they're not at this point, aren't we? Teacher, I do think... what an opening as well, that they come in with, teacher, we want you to do for us whatever we ask of you.
Don't we all want that of Jesus?
Don't we all want that? I mean, I suppose that's interesting, actually, just I don't know, it's an interesting attitude to prayer, I suppose, isn't it, in a way? Lord, we want you to do for us whatever we're saying. You promised you're going to do it. if we say in Jesus' name, that's a very
Yeah,
simplistic
exactly.
prayer, isn't it?
He,
But
he did promise that, so what can you expect? It's like this.
I don't think I've ever quite seen that before in that way, actually. But yeah, it's like we want you to do whatever we ask you, and it's probably an interesting way in which we approach prayer. And Jesus, says, okay, well, what
Do
is
you
it?
think, would it be fair to say that Mark always paints the disciples as not knowing, more so than us other gospel readers, gospel writers?
Yeah, I think Mark does give. I think Mark does give the disciples a hard time. Yeah, in his.
It feels like
Yeah.
it, that they don't understand anything.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
more so than when I read the other ones. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think people have noticed that. I think that seemed to be a real observation that the disciples do seem to come in for a particularly hard time in Mark, don't they? So yeah, what is it you want me to do for you? Says Jesus. I mean, it's a bit like when you go up to somebody, isn't it, and say, "Can you do me a favor?" Or someone, or even worse, when somebody
Depends
comes
what
up
it
and say,
is.
"Can we do you a favor?" Well, it depends what it is, doesn't it? It's just, can you make me an open-ended promise before I reveal what it is you want me to do?
And the
And yeah,
answer is always no. No, can't do
no,
it.
we can't do you a favor, but tell me what you want. Well, Jesus doesn't say that. He just says, what is it you want me to do for you? And they said to him, and here they come, grant us to sit one at your right hand and one at your left in your glory. I mean, clearly this is where this passage is. They're just talking at cross purposes, aren't they? Because Jesus then says, can you drink the cup that I'm going to drink? And of course, we know that talks about the cup of his suffering, but they're thinking that it's all about, I don't know what they think. What are they thinking? What are they picturing it?
Well, just that he can drink the cup. I've got the message up in front of me. The message.
Okay, yeah. Tell us what
Not
the
a
message.
translation, is it? The Message Bible.
Oh, paraphrase, yeah.
Yeah. So they say, Jesus said, "You have no idea what you're asking. Are you capable of drinking the cup I drink, or being baptized in the baptism I'm about to be plunged into?" Sure, they said. Why not? Jesus said, "Come to think of it," and I love the fact that Jesus said, "Come to think of it, you will drink the cup I drink and be baptized in my baptism. But as to awarding the places of honor, that's not my business. There are other arrangements for that."
It's just such they're just talking about such different pictures, aren't they? Because and of course, as you say, we're letting on the secret. We know that Jesus is talking about his suffering, the cup of suffering, the baptism of his death. And they're thinking, I don't know, do they think it's going to be an earthly kingdom or a heavenly kingdom?
I think they think it's an earthly kingdom, don't
okay.
they? I think.
So are we still thinking they're going to kick the Romans out? They're going to be like, I don't know. Are they going to be the chief?
Well, I guess it's a little bit like, if that's the teaching that they've had ingrained all their lives, and we know what this is like. We know how ingrained teaching is within us, even if we change our views, it still keeps coming back round, doesn't it? And if that is what they have learned right up until meeting Jesus, it's going to be really difficult to let go of that.
Yeah.
Even though he tells them directly and they kind of go, "Oh, yes," but we understand how that feels. You think you know it, and then it comes back round again. And I think they definitely thought that he was going to, the Messiah would come and kick the Romans out. So
yeah. So obviously this idea of kind of political intrigue, fighting for the right and left hand of the leader, it's what's also fascinating, as I was thinking about, we're going to be looking at this tonight, is obviously I do love a podcast, as Jenny knows just of her exasperation. I do love a political podcast. So as well as listening to In Conversation within Jennie and Mark, I also, well, I don't listen to this because I don't like hearing my own voice once I've recorded it. But as well as listening to this podcast, there are other podcasts such as The Rest is Politics, which is a bit of a favorite of mine, and The Rest of Politics US, which is also, and it's all about this kind of palace intrigue stuff. Who's got the ear of the prime minister or the president? Who's up, who's down. And of course, in our own politics right this week, it's been that, hasn't it? A whole thing with, Sue Gray resigning and was she sacked and how's it happened? And anyway, without getting into too much of that, what's fascinating is that this is the same kind of stuff, isn't it? This is the same kind of thing happening.
Oh, yeah, because they know they're on their way to Jerusalem, don't they? We've already had the Caesarea Philippi. They know they're on their way. They know it's going to be dangerous. All they've got to do is cling on to, really, is that Jesus is going to win, even though he keeps telling them he's going to die, which is a little bit inconvenient for them. But if they're assuming that, it's going to be all right, now's the time to get your place sorted out before you get there, isn't it?
So they're still not getting it. They still don't really believe him about what he's saying. They're still looking for, we're saying, some sort of political power within the kingdom that is going to be brought in whatever way Jesus is going to do it. And Jesus is talking at a completely different purpose, isn't he?
Yes.
Are you going to drink the baptism? Yeah, we could do that. Sure, why not? I like that. That's good. Why not? Of course we can. Yeah, we could do that. We're James and John. We're the sons of Zebedee. Bring it on, guys. Or their mum's coming, or their mum's going, get in there. Come on.
Of course you can. Come on. Tell him yes.
Yeah. And Jesus just has these really poignant words, isn't he? You do not know what you're asking. You don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, as the message says, you have no idea what you're asking.
You have no idea what you're talking about. And then the real kicker, and you are going to get to drink it, and you are going to get that baptism, which of course we know it means they're going to die. They're going to die for their faith. You are going to have to do it. But even so, you're not going to sit. It's not up to me.
You're still not going to be on the right and left.
You're still not going to get what you're looking for. It's just like, there's almost that, as the reader, it's kind of like, oh.
Okay, tragic. Let's talk about the other 10 that then suddenly discover that this is going on.
I know.
Really annoyed.
And they're all piling in. They're all piling in. It's just a great passage. It is a great passage. They're all indignant and angry because James and John.
The message, they lost their tempers with James and John.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's good. And so what does Jesus do? He has to gather them all together again. Says, come on, folk. This is not the way. This is not the way.
But just going back a minute, how do you just imagine it? When did the other 10 learn that this was going on? Did they overhear it? Did they hear Jesus? Which bit?
Well, I mean, all we got is when the 10 heard this, haven't we? I mean, do we?
Yeah.
What does Eugene think about it? What has he got for that in the message?
Just when they heard of this conversation, they lost their tempers.
Well, I mean, I guess they're all traveling together, aren't they? They're a pretty tight group,
Just trying to imagine it, really. So, like,
yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, did they overhear it, or did they sort of? You can't imagine, can't you? They're sort of, what are they talking about? What are they doing over there?
I'm going to say, one will have overheard, gone back to walk with the others. Do you know what they've just said? Do you know what they've just asked?
Go on, Thaddeus. You go and see what's going on. Go and have a listen. Thaddeus is one of them, wasn't he? I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's all those ones that you never really hear about, and they're just in the list. Go on, come back. Well, do you know what they were saying? Do you know what they wanted? So annoyed with them. Probably use some rude words that we can't say because we're vicars. And then
they would have been, you can imagine it. Okay.
You can imagine, yeah. And then
so Jesus gathers them together. Okay.
Yeah, and I think this is one of those. It's just such this is one of those verses that I just think stays with me. That among the Gentiles, those whom they recognize as their rulers lord it over them, and their great ones are tyrants. And it's almost like that's just the way of things. That's how it works. That the Romans or the Gentiles or the Greeks, whatever, they love to kind of throw their weight around, be the big cheese. And then but it's not so among you. This is not the way you're going to do it. This is not the way you're supposed to do it.
Apart from we're in the Church of England.
Apart from we're in the Church of England.
And we like a bit of hierarchy, don't we?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because, of course, they do go on to be leaders. They are leaders. They do go on to be leaders. I mean, I think we also like to think that post-resurrection and into the early church and after Pentecost, that they all kind of suddenly all get along with each other. But, of course, that's not...
No, they definitely don't. We just need to read the letters, don't we, to find out.
And then Paul comes along, who's this guy. He wasn't even one of them. And he sort of takes a big leading role, and we get some of the idea of the tensions that creates, don't we, in the early church. So this goes on. It doesn't just stop. Um,
Well, also because it's a little bit idealistic, isn't it? There are people that need to be led, and there are people that are born to lead. And it's just a natural way of things. I mean, you put a load of people into a group with no leaders, eventually somebody will need to be a leader.
Step out, won't they? Yeah,
Mm,
yeah, yeah.
um,
As we see from countless reality TV shows.
oh yes.
I mean, actually, when you think about it, it's quite interesting, isn't it? But and the real trouble that we have in the church, I think, is that we then get into this terribly kind of, and the only word I can think this brings to mind is the unctuous kind of servant leadership idea, don't we? Do you know what I mean? It's like kind of, oh, of course, I'm a servant leader, and I'm ever so humble.
Humility again. Yes.
Um,
Oh, I'm not worthy to be done given all
yeah,
that. I'm not
yeah,
worthy.
absolutely, because we're so kind of, I don't know, we just can't help ourselves, can we? We can't help it. And I'm not saying that I'm any different because,
Yeah, I am. I've just
well,
never mastered
obviously,
the
Jenny, you're not
I've
perfect.
never
I
mastered
mean,
the
I know that.
humility at all.
I mean, it was Donald Trump, wasn't it, who said,
Oh
I'm the
yeah.
most humble person I know.
I've got that clip saved if you ever
That's
need it.
amazing.
I think I am very humble, the most
Yeah,
humble
something
person
like that. I
I
think I'm
know.
very humble, the most humble person I know. Uh, I mean,
Um,
yeah.
so we're getting near to the end of the passage. So the thing that really struck me that I didn't
Okay.
want to start with is this is such good news for all, because actually everybody can be great because everybody can serve. So
That's good.
you don't actually need to be clever. Everybody can serve in some sort of way, can't they? Everyone can be a servant, which means that if to be great you need to serve, to be served makes you great, and everybody can be great.
And that, folks, is all we need to say tonight.
You can have that one on me. I'm not
Is
preaching.
that copyright Jenny Adams 2024? Or did
No,
you
no,
read
no,
that
no,
in a
you can
book?
have it. It's fine.
Did you read that in a book, or did you think that up?
Uh, made it up.
Oh, fantastic. There you go.
Yeah.
As Adam says, we can quote you.
But yeah, everybody can do that. So you don't need any theological training. You can serve in whichever way is suitable for whoever you are.
Hmm. Well, I think that's really
Winner,
good.
winner.
I'm going to
I mean, I
definitely
have
preach.
been talking about inclusivity today, so it probably struck out because of that. But yeah, it's like,
Yeah, yeah. And I guess, I mean, again, Jesus really doesn't mince his words, does he? I mean, I don't know what it's got in the message, but whoever wishes to become great among you must be your servant. Whoever wishes to be first must be the slave of all.
yeah,
What
the
is
message says slave.
yeah,
I
yeah.
question slave though.
Not justify slavery, by the way. We just need to say that clearly.
No, but I mean, I haven't
I think we
got
settled that one. I do think we settled that one.
no, I haven't got a commentary to see the actual how it translates, but I would question slave because slaves were not particularly well treated, and I don't think are we supposed to be badly treated all the time?
Well, I was sort of being slightly flippant then, but it's not a flippant subject, of course. People did use the Bible to justify slavery, and I don't doubt that some people would have done that with a passage such as this. And thank goodness the church came to a different understanding in the end, and at least that sort of terrible chattel slavery was abolished. And that's not to
Yeah,
say that there isn't still slavery today, and modern slavery is definitely a thing. So, without getting to, but that, yeah, and it doesn't mean to say that we should be. It certainly doesn't give us a license to mistreat others. It's an attitude of mind that we should have ourselves. I think. It's
I'm
probably
interested in the idea that we should allow others to mistreat us, so because that's what it's basically saying, and I don't think that, as I say, I haven't got a commentary to translate that, but I would look further into that. Whoever wants to be first among you must be your slave.
Yeah, and the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many. So, I mean, Jesus.
I mean, I guess the easiest way is to go, oh, I don't want to be first. It's okay. Therefore, I don't need to be a slave. I'll sit in the middle somewhere.
Just sort of middle mediocrity. We're just going to go for it. Are we? So
I'm a true Anglican. I'm going to sit in the middle on the fence.
I mean, that's really challenging, isn't it? Because Jesus, of course, does allow others to mistreat him, falsely arrest him, torture him, kill him.
Yes, but I've always felt that Jesus did that so that I didn't have to as much. I'm not a fan of that.
I don't think we have to go looking for it. We shouldn't be surprised, I suppose, if it arrives. Perhaps,
No.
well, of course, we're very fortunate that we don't live in a country where, we do have to go through that sort of persecution for our faith, but many do. Men are willing to do it. Perhaps some more willingly than others, but many have been martyred over the centuries for following Christ, haven't they?
Yeah, but you're still going to extremes, and I'm still thinking day-to-day life, really.
Yeah,
Do
fair
you
enough.
want to be somebody's slave? Do you want to be the slave to the church that you'll minister to? Don't really, do you? Don't want to be there and they're all mistreating you because you're first and now you're last. Yeah, just.
So what are you saying? Are you saying that,
I'm saying I'm not too keen.
okay, well, I don't think I'm keen, and I don't know that I think that's what it's asking us to do, is it? Or am I just trying to get out of the obvious reading? What does it mean for us as leaders of our respective churches to serve them or even be slaves to them? Sometimes it feels like that. Should we never have a day off? Should we just be there all the time? Should we, is that healthy, appropriate, useful?
Or is it, once again, hyperbole in many ways? Maybe hyperbole is probably a bit too an extreme thing, but you know what I mean? Jesus often doubles down.
Well, I mean, it's only a couple of weeks ago we were thinking about cutting our hands off. So,
Yeah.
there is always that element. That's interesting. That's true. There's always that element of Jesus' teaching that he goes to the sort of limits of it to make the point. Yeah.
Well, it's a little bit in the divorce as well. The divorce.
I think that's right.
I
agree with that.
I spoke this Sunday about it. He doubles down about if a man divorces his wife, commits and marries another, commits adultery, and if a wife divorces her husband, but actually wives couldn't divorce their husbands. So if you take it as straight teaching, it doesn't, you can't do it. So it was doubling down, and I do wonder.
Yeah,
Maybe that's
well, he
servant
certainly
and now is a slave.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. He certainly wants to exaggerate about the point, and doesn't. I think you've always got to be mindful that the extreme has not been extreme for many followers of Jesus. But that doesn't mean to say that we should work 24/7 every hour that there is as a slave to the church, because that's not healthy. It's not going to get. I don't think that's the life that we're called into. But there will be times where we've got to go more than the extra mile.
Yeah, and I guess we have to balance it. We are followers of Jesus first and foremost before being church leaders, and we are called to live life in all its fullness.
Yeah.
Being a slave to the church is not a life in all its fullness, is it?
No, it's not. It's not.
No.
It's not. So I guess, but this isn't just a passage for church leaders, is it? This is for everybody? Question mark?
Yes, and I don't think they're going to be too keen on being slaves either. So the key message to me, I've already said it, would be that everybody can be great.
I think that's really good. I think that's really good.
It can be great. That's just what stood out. And as I say, I've had a lot of conversations about inclusivity today. So what can stop people and hold people from serving, but everybody can serve in their own way, and everyone can be great. I'm leaving it there.
Oh, I think that's really good.
As they say in Forrest Gump,
it there.
I have nothing more to say about this.
Yeah, we watched Forrest Gump this week, didn't we? It's the first time I watched it, well, since it came out, really, and I just thought, what a brilliant film. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I told you.
Anyway, there we go. Perhaps we should do a film review of Forrest Gump or some other film that we've watched one week. But yeah, what a great passage, all the way through from the stuff about James and John, just their misunderstanding what's going on. Yeah, and I think, that also sense that we also misunderstand. Some of the things we're wrestling with here, we misunderstand what it's all about sometimes. And we probably still do that. And we still have simplistic ideas about what Jesus should or shouldn't be doing, even 2,000 years later. But I love
still like him to do whatever we ask.
And we'd like him to do whatever we ask.
But he doesn't.
That doesn't always work out like that. But I think that's an interesting thing. And yeah, just love that. Yeah, we can all be great because we can all serve. On that note, I think we're going to leave it. So we won't be here to post anything next week. You will be able to hear my thoughts on this further in about 10 days time if I'm preaching on it at St Margaret's, and I can't remember whether I am or not. But we will be back certainly in a couple of weeks with another In Conversation with Jennie and Mark. So thank you so much for listening if you've got this far, and we'll say goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.